Hi, my name's Blethen from Walker Scott. In this series, we've covered a wide range of look and feel and navigation within D365 Finance and Operations. In this session, I'll be covering the Open in Excel templates. It should be noted that I'm using a standard D365 Finance and Operations environment with Microsoft's Contoso demo data. So let's jump right in. D365 comes with a wide range of Open in Excel templates by default. And we can actually review these in the Organization Administration module. So in Organization Administration, we have Setup, we have Office Integration, and we have a series of menu items for the Office integration. If we click on Document Templates, it will give us an idea of the out-of-the-box system templates. You can also reload them, so there are occasionally new templates added to the Open in Excel list. And what we can also review is whether they are currently displayed for users. So to the right here, we have a field that is List in Open in Office menu. So if these are unticked, it means that they are not currently in the list of the drop-down for users when they click the Open in Microsoft Office drop-down list. We then have some templates that apply the current record filter. Now, this is uncommon, but what this does is when a user selects a specific record, when they hit that Open in Excel, then it only selects that unique record and not all of the records within that table. We then also have an apply company filter. So if you're in a specific legal entity, which I'm in currently in USMF, when I open a template, it will be filtered and limited to that specific company. Now, if you don't have that filter applied, you will see records across all of the legal entities as well. So this is really useful to be aware of, where you can review the Open in Excel templates that have been defined. The next example we're going to cover now is how to create your own custom Open in Excel templates. And it does help if you know what entities are in use for those specific areas. Now, I can quickly navigate to, say, all customers, and you can get some hints as to what templates or what entities are in use by looking at if there are any out-of-the-box templates here. So, for example, this customers one here, I know that it has customers in it, and I can also get an idea from some of the obsolete. So there's a customers V2 here, there's a customers USMF. So I have a rough idea that this particular screen requires an entity that relates to customers. So now that I have an idea as to which entity to use, I can come back to Organization Administration, I can come to the Office integration, and I can come to the Excel Workbook Designer. Now, from here, I can create my own workbook by simply filtering on entities. So I'm going to look for an entity name with customer in there. And as you can imagine, there's quite a few customer entities in the list. And I can scroll down and review the different entities that are available. Now, in this case, I'm going to use the customers V3 entity, and generally you'll use the latest version of the templates. Now, from here, I can select the company. I can scroll down and have the customer account number. And I'm going to keep this very, very simple. I am going to add the credit limit field. Now, I do actually want to add credit limit and credit rating, but I'm deliberately going to leave credit rating off, and I'll show another method later on, which is an ad hoc method for adding fields to the list. So as you can see, there are a lot of fields available that I could be pulling in, but I'm simply going to keep this as simple as possible for my user. I've got company, I've got customer account, and I've got credit limit. Now from here, I can create a workbook and download it. And that workbook has now been downloaded. Now that is not the end of this process. We now have to add this workbook to our standard list of document templates. So to do that, I'm going to navigate back to Organization Administration. I'm going to come to Document Templates now. And from here, I'm going to add a new template. Now I'm going to upload my template from my desktop and just make sure I've got the right book there. Click Open. And this is where you can give it a template name. So I'm going to call it Credit Limit Update. I'm not going to give it a specific company. I'm just going to leave the settings as they are, and I'm going to click OK. And you can see the root data entity is that customer v3 that I created from the workbook designer. Now when I click OK, you can see that I now have this record here, Credit Limit Update. Now I am going to review and slide across. You can see that currently it is listed open in Office menu. I don't want to apply the current record filter, so I'm going to remove that. And by default, it's got the apply company as well, which is fine. I'm going to leave that as is. But depending on your circumstance, you may want to untick that so that it brings across all legal entities. So I'm going to refresh my browser, and we're now going to navigate back to Accounts Receivable All Customers. And now I'm going to switch my views deliberately to have my blend-in simple view where I have credit limit and credit rating. Now, if I click in the drop down, you can see I now have my credit limit update available. If I click on that, as I mentioned, this is a very simple template that I've built. I'm simply bringing in the customer account number and the credit limit, which I want to update for my customers. So from here, you can see I can enable editing. It's going to synchronize with Dynamics and pull those customers out. So it's just refreshing the data. And you can see I have a series of my customer accounts and I have my credit limit. So just to show you that it does work, I'm going to change these values. So let's make it really obvious. 1111, and let's go 2222, 3333, 4444. So I've updated my credit limits. I can hit publish and we will see these changes in, you can see it's published successfully. And if I refresh the page, you can see that I've got my 1111, my 2222, 3333, and 4444. So that's a great way of being able to create much simpler templates than the out-of-the-box open in Excel templates. Now in our last example, we're going to show how you can add additional fields on an ad hoc basis. Now this is something that you will probably do on an ad hoc basis. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open my credit limit update. And as you may recall, I deliberately didn't include credit rating in this template when I was designing the template. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in that field into this template. So what we can see is it's going to update, it's going to retrieve those fields from D365. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the design experience. Now, you do need to be careful when you are working with these templates. So from here, I can see I've got customers V3. You can add additional tables as well, but I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to go into the customers V3 table, and I'm going to scroll down and find my credit rating field, which is this one here. Double click, it's now added to my table. I click update. It's going to want to refresh the data. So I'm going to click yes, and I'm going to click done. Now, I need to refresh this because this is the first time that it's going to be pulling through that data. And you can see it, I've now got my credit ratings added temporarily because I'm not updating the template. I am simply just adding it to this instance of the workbook that I'm working in. Now from here, I can go and change these values. So I'm going to change all the terribles to awful. So coming down, we've got another one here, and we've got 3 more at the bottom. And I'm happy with that. I'm going to hit publish. So what I've done is I've added a field that wasn't in the simple template that was created, and I've gone and updated that field. Now, when I close out of this template, it's not going to save these. This isn't going to impact the core template. And if I click this and move this across, we can see that this was terrible. If I refresh that, we can now see that it's awful, as well as these ones that I've updated here as well. So in summary, we've covered how to look at the standard Open in Excel templates. We've shown how to create your own custom Open in Excel template, and I've also shown how you can add additional fields to the Open in Excel template. Thank you.